Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We Lord, 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 Lord. Welcome to Watch My Smoke Movement. We're no longer sweeping mental health issues under the rug. I'm Paula and I'm here to help you with your mental health issues daily. We're on the hour 6:43 p.m. Eastern Time in the USA, Carrollton, Georgia, an hour away from Atlanta. Honey, this is the channel. Mental illness is real. I got a lot to say. God is really doing some things. And like I'm always say, this is not for everybody. Thank God that you got supportive friends and people while you going through this journey. Cause baby, I don't have time to get on here to fake the funk like I'm okay every day. I don't care where I'm at. I am not okay. I fight mood swings every day. I'm going through anxiety right now. But by me telling you all what's going on, I'm 59 years old, born 1966. Three grown children and three grands from my son, past marriages. Honey, I'm telling you, thank you all. I am so grateful for you all that comes through here, through my podcast, through my documentary, you know, and everything. I'm so grateful for you all. Even if you subscribe and like or whatever you do or don't do, I'm grateful for you all because by you hearing the sound of my voice, you and me, all of us, we have paid a price for different things. There are sacrifices, there are consequences. I am so grateful to have you all to come through and just be a part. I'm so grateful. Hello, ZZZ. God bless you all. I mean, God bless the monitoring spirits, what they call them? Uh, gang stalkers, trolls, all of the people, I'm telling you, mental illness is real. And I live with bipolar 2 disorder. I have a lot to say, and I want to know how you all are doing. Hey, King, what's up? Oh, thank you. Thank you for liking my stream, you all. What's going on with you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't feel like being on the live stream, showing, my face and stuff. I'm tired, but I got to talk. I got to talk, and I pray that this will hit. I pray that this will bless somebody. As you look at my community that I post in my community, excuse me. I go through an episode at times, or a mood swing, or if I'm in a panic mode, or I'm having anxiety. I will post my ass off. Excuse the expression. I will post. I went back, back during the time. If some of y'all born in 1966 or 55 and up, I mean, everybody's welcome. But check this out. If you, I'm gonna tell you something. I am part of the hip hop culture. I've loved hip hop since the Sugar Hill Gang, but I don't get into gangster rap, okay? It's in my blood. I love it. I admire these young men telling their story, their poetry. Now, I'm not all fun of their personal life and everything else they do, okay? Yeah, okay. Hey, Jazzy. Uh-huh. You see what I'm saying? Okay, King, thank you for subbing. I love it. And I love all kind of music. Don't get me wrong. I love ballet, orchestra. I love it all, okay? I love music. Music is in my bones. But if you look at my community, where I post, I went way back. I mean, if you look at all of my community, I'm gonna post. I'm going to. I do research. This is part of us. I found where you. I love to share things like good movies, comedy, name it, love, romance, whatever. I'm gonna post it. It's not all about me, and my experiences. Yes, I live in bipolar. I live with bipolar two disorder. It's a medical condition, and right now I am detoxing since October 2025 from all my meds. You know, and everything. And I don't know who this gonna touch or reach. You know, this not the time to be bougie and be, like, you know, I understand this could be embarrassing. I get it. This can be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying, Jazzy? You all, everybody, this can be, welcome everyone. This can be embarrassing of living with bipolar 2 disorder or being a schizophrenic. So I'm gonna tell you, out of I love my rappers, women and men. This is for everybody. But I'm gonna tell you, I came across Group Gucci. Gucci Man, if you research him, if you some of y'all are familiar with Gucci Man from the South. I'm from the ATL, born and raised, and I've been gone from Atlanta, which is I'm an hour away from Atlanta. 'Cause my family's still in Atlanta. I've been gone away from Atlanta at least about 5, 6 years. Okay, I had to leave. It's a lot of people leaving Atlanta. I wouldn't step. I was born in Grady Hospital. I wouldn't step another foot in Grady. Grady got the best doctors. Blah 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 blah. But listening to Gucci Man, he's from Alabama, but he grew up in Atlanta on the east side, Decatur, all of that. I've lived all of it, but I'm from Bankhead because I grew up in my grandparents' house. My granddaddy was a Baptist reverend, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, honey, when he say, him and his beautiful wife, because I know the blogs talks and, people gonna talk about you. But this man, what he said hit home. I've been into Gucci Man ever since Gucci Man has been Gucci Man. Okay? And used to say then, I said to myself, I said, this guy's got so much talent. I said, but I always felt like I said, something wrong with him. Of course, people, when you do drugs and everything, I was like that with my girl's father. He was doing drugs. I didn't even know it. But I didn't even know. I wasn't even diagnosed then, so we both had problems, okay? And yes, it affected us. It affected my children, even if they grown to today. But I'm going to tell you, if people weren't getting help then, they were sweeping mental illness up under the rug back then. Gucci Man is 46. So, but anyway, it wasn't number God. Number God, because hey, I like T.I., I love Ludacris, I love all my, most of my guys. Rest in peace, Low, all them, the Migos, all that. I, oh God, even the ladies, the SWV, what it, Tiny them, all of them, honey. I can't name all of them. Left Eye, all of them. Missy Elliott. I love them all, their craft, okay? But let me tell you something. When Gucci came on, and if you Google this man right now or look into my post of community, I'm always researching and I share with you all whatever, because I'm a content creator, entertainer. Oh, and by the way, I'm so grateful of the donations and the love, showing the love, buying me water, tea, coffee. I'm so grateful, you all. Thank you. Plus, I have a limited edition of sketches that will bless people. That's in eBay, or you go to authorhouse.com. You'll see it on my description. Okay? Whenever people buy into my brand, whatever God is doing, is to bless my platforms. Substack, what I do some writing and do different live, or podcasts, whatever. My TikTok, it blesses the platform talking about mental health. Now, I don't hold nothing back. I don't hold nothing back. I live in a single living, and I'm just being who the hell I am. Just thanking God for you all, thanking God for my support in my life with my mentor and everything. And I had therapy today, so I have therapy every week on Thursday at 1. God therapy, journaling, and and sketching. Oh my God, that gets me through the day. I'm still sketching right now. And if you look at my shorts and everything, you will see my sketches, the story through the sketches. But Gucci Man, when they found out he was schizophrenic, and when he went to jail, and when he came out, they said he was cloned and all that. God used him. You hear me? God showed the world and showed him as a better man and have a beautiful wife and family. She's from Jamaica. She got her own brand, and the girl stood for her man. Salute, king and queen. I love me some black love, and I love love. So I don't have no problem. I know what it's like to be outside my race. I think it's beautiful. But the reason why I say black love, because I am black American, and it just so much is on black men right now, where they are going and getting a passport and trying to find love elsewhere and all of this stuff. I know what's going on, but hey, do you? Okay. Even with the age brackets, they're like people like Cher and rest in peace, Tina Turner. They have younger men, and then the younger men have older women, and the older men, like Mike Eltsner, marrying women that is 20 years younger than them, so they can help take care their estate. I think that's a wonderful investment. I had to grow to understand this. I have no problem. I have no problem with that. I'll be 60 years old next month. But the thing is, when Gucci Man go on about, his book is episodes. I don't have no sponsors or whatever. I just felt led, since my speaking of what I speak on about mental illness, I support, and I want it to bless other people. I do research, and I pull this stuff out for you all. What I think is interested, the movies, everything. Ooh, stay in touch, comment, whatever you do in the community. Keep it decent, keep it real. But this guy here, talk about he had to take some medicine. He had to exercise. He had to work on himself mentally. And it's still an ongoing thing because he wants to. Thank God that his wife is an awesome supporter. She's successful. She's from Jamaica. And they take care of their children. going, they do their thing, and he said he enjoy life. He got a passport, he do what he do and come back home and get his rest. Live your life, like T.I. say. Live your life. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You know, I know it's hard right now. A lot of people are going on to different countries and they doing this, and that's another thing. Please do your research on these different countries before you go, especially if you deal with health things. Okay. Now, I, I appreciate it even when on the replay. This would touch somebody, but I just want to say, please do your research because I listen to a lot of content creators and I have, invested some things, like when I see a product they doing just to see what's what can it do for me? Welcome back. I'm Paula, you know, and, you know, a lot of times you could see me posting a lot of videos. Don't mean to throw shade or offend anybody, but I'm into rappers. I study people's lives. This is the gift. This is in my blood. Being a content creator, entertainer from about at least 20 some years. I didn't even know what I was doing. Just putting it out there. It wasn't like I was on there every day. I just put some on there and go. And even on this platform, I'm not on here every day. Hell, I got a life to live. Yeah, you're a blessing if you want to bless bless the platforms. Wonderful. But if anything that I can help you, serve you, that how I do the research, and I post other people's videos on my posts, and along with mine, you know, and I'm just so grateful. So I was talking about Gucci Mane, part of Atlanta, where I'm born and raised. That Gucci said in some areas was traumatizing to him. When I heard him talking about this on the Breakfast Club, I was like, oh my God, this is why I'm not in Atlanta anymore. Oh my God. I grew up on Bankhead. My grandparents' house is still right there on Bankhead. I'm going to post it. I'm going to find a picture of it and post it tonight after I get off of here. I'm like, oh my God. The traumatizing. I had a family member, an uncle, that lived with us, was mentally ill. If he didn't take his medicine, he was off the chain. Oh my God. I was traumatized when I was a little girl by him. He told us to get out of his which is my grandparents, my mom. He told us all to get out the house one night. He said if we don't, he will unlive us. Man, you don't think I was traumatized by that? That's another video. I don't feel like going into it. I don't feel like talking about it because I don't want to open up and relive anything from it. Oh my God. It's so many of us has been traumatized. So when Gucci Mane said that, and then and not to just poke fun or whatever at Atlanta, like my daughter said, what are you running from? What? And then she said, what did Atlanta do to you? A whole lot. And you find yourself, yeah, you would run from things, but then sometimes you have to come back and straighten it out and see where you can, where things can be fixed at or whatever. It's whatever it is dealing with you. So I realized, I said, I don't need to be in Atlanta anymore because too much traumatized that to me. So Gucci Man was saying how he would go a certain part of East Atlanta or whatever part of it, which sounds like Decatur and stuff, where it's greater because I got family member all through there. And you know, if you when some parts of Atlanta, every country, city, state, whatever, got a ghetto side. So Atlanta, we all have lived in the ghetto. Well, I can only speak for myself. But what Gucci was saying, how he used to be on the block, and if he go to Atlanta, see, they still had a house there. How his wife was saying she'll just stay in a hotel because she just don't want to relive that, you know, for him going to that house in Atlanta. So when he do go, whatever he do, and then he moves on, he get on out of there. But they asked him on the Breakfast Club, Charmaine, asked him like, what it make you feel like when you go? He said it makes him relive some stuff. He don't like the feeling. And I said, I be damned. I feel what he feel too. I said, oh my God. It's so many people deal with mental illness and stuff in Atlanta. They don't even want to admit it. Or it's not, and it's okay if if they don't want to tell that they on meds, because it's none of our business. It's none of our business. It's okay. People don't have to tell their business. But I'm so grateful that he shared. He shared the fact that, wait a minute, I gotta let these blinds down. I keep the window up. I don't care how freezing it is. It helps me with my anxiety and my panicking. I'm sorry, excuse me. It helps, with my panicking and anxiety. So, but, and it's okay with my live stream. I enjoy doing it. And to meet certain people, I'm going to put the title of what I am led to. I don't need and work by AI. I don't do none of this stuff. So this is uncut, unedited, and it's raw. And there's so many people, will see it during the timing. I don't do, I just come on when God said, come on, And some I may do a video and upload it, but when that guy talked about the certain places he lived and wherever he went, it traumatized him and brought back, I could relate. And it blessed me so. And I told my therapist the same thing. I said, wow, that's amazing. You don't know how much that free people. I'm telling you the truth. Now I can still see he working through it. I can still see he look good. I'm so grateful for him. He looks really good, and I salute him for that. I'm so happy for him because it gives me hope. Because I'm gonna tell you, God gonna put in my life as I go along the journey. He's gonna put. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nothing but God. I trust God enough to put who He want in my circle. And I say this all the time. Whether they want to be bothered with me or not, it's okay. Man, God has blessed me before any of these different, platforms. And we were living, and many of us, I was living, and God was taking care of me even before these platforms. And even these platforms is still going to be here. God's still going to take care of me. If I don't even make another dime on here, hats off, salute to the ones and what you call them? The content creators and all of them that doing their thing everything, whatever they doing. God bless. My hat goes off to you. But all I want to be is peace, have inner peace. Inner peace. I'm so grateful for my inner peace, and I do what I want to do when I want to do it, you know. And I'm just grateful, you know. And when God puts in my guts to do whatever needs to be done, then that's what it is. Other than that, you know, I teach people, speak to people about my experiences about mental illness and everything, and it is what it is. You're gonna see a lot of times I may be talking off my head, just like going through episodes and mood swings, just like Gucci Man, and I will let you know, and you can tell because the way I'll be acting and talking, even right now, I'm going through anxiety right now. I'm fighting a mood swing right now, but I let you all know that how do I get over it. For me, but not being on any meds, been detoxing. I just keep my window cracked because a lot of times it's about the air, having air. That's why you got to be careful when you go in the other countries and the other parts of the city. I went to Savannah one time. I said, "Good God Almighty, I couldn't hardly breathe." I have a problem. I have allergies during springtime. Springtime is the beautiful part of the season. I love it. That's my birthday, in the spring. But other than that, I can feel when it rains, when it's gonna get ready to rain. I can feel it in my bones a week, 2 or 3 days before it happened. I have problem with it being very hot because I'm going through the menopause. Being very hot. And then coldness, oh my God. I couldn't live in Chicago and New York now. That's another part that aches with my arthritis and having arthritis in my spine. But how I get over it, I just work, I walk all day. I keep my mind, I keep it, how can I put it? Excuse me. I keep it sharpened by doing my sketches and word find and talking to people and it's just the different things that I do to share with other people, you know. And I have my days if I don't feel like being bothered, I'm just not going to do whatever I'm not going to do because actually I'm in within a disability status and retired. So I'm just not trying to be on a hustle bound, of selling things, but I just do it at my own pace. I have to slow it down. I can't deal with stress. Just like how Gucci Man said. I some days I can move all day long. I've been washed everything in the house, my linens and just cook and do it, just doing everything. And it's like a manic episode I have. I went through that when I was on that medicine. I have days where I just be going on like I'm a damn robot. But I don't sleep well at night. So another thing I deal with about my children, they are traumatized by the way that I wasn't able to raise them long. I kept them, to a certain age, but they're too traumatized, just like I'm traumatized. And there are days me and my children just don't like each other. We love each other, but we don't like each other. You know, um, it's almost playing a game of chess. My 25-year-old, she just don't be in touch with anybody but her surroundings and her they are so tight knit. It's a lot of jealousy between us too. Jealousy for me is the bond that they have because my half brothers did not accept me. Jealousy for them, it's just like my son don't want me to be happy. He think if I'm busy doing support groups and I'm doing road trips or traveling and stuff, he think he can get like I'm an ATM, like he get money out of me or I'm just this that. I'm at work, I'm trying to get. No, I'm not an ATM. No, and no is no. I don't have to explain anything. In the same way with my older and my and my baby girl. Excuse me. If you all not gonna call and check and see if I need anything and stuff, don't call me and ask me for anything. Yeah, I'm there as a supportive to help be a listener and pray for you. That's what I can do. But y'all, like I told them as I'm speaking to you all, they're grown. They're body able to work. And even if you do have a partner, or whatever, it's gonna be rough on y'all. But when you got your little sidekick that you love to do with your little weed and everything, you got to put everything in a budget. You know, I'm not here to. It's not my responsibility to buy you just because you short $6 or so, because you got your weed. Don't don't text me or call me for that. Now I see why my mother used to, sort of not want to be. She didn't want to be bothered with me. She didn't want to be bothered with me. Calling her with all this old toxic drama stuff and telling her about my old toxic, unhealthy marriages. I don't want to hear about yours. I don't want to. I see how she feel now. I don't want to hear about their that. And I see that more and more. It's better off that I don't meet their partners or whatever, because you're going through stuff that you're gonna go through. I can't fix it. And a lot of times I don't even need to hear it. I always invite myself and say, you all, if y'all need somebody to talk to, blah, blah, blah. But now you all need therapy. You all need therapy. I don't care how cute you are and how good you can dance. But I am not gonna shorten my life on this kind of mess. It's like when I first started going to this doctor, I was homeless and everything, but I still had my truck and everything. And I would go on Fridays because the service was free. It triggers me. I can't even go back to that doctors and stuff in Atlanta. I've been going there for 9 years. I still do the therapy over the phone, but to be there on a Friday, it triggers me of some of the people that are schizophrenic and all of that. It triggers me because of what my uncle living around him, all of that did to me. So I say all this, excuse me, is Gucci Man, your wife, y'all really did bless me. I had to speak on that. I had to really speak on this. It was such a blessing to hear him come out and speak on what's going on. Even though I know he'd been in prison, he had a self-defense charge, stuff happens. I understand that. I'm so proud of them. I really am. But I don't want to throw shade, don't mean to throw shade, but my children sometimes, they make me feel it's a bad feeling, you know. And I understand what's on them as well, but they're old enough. How long you gonna play chess? How long you gonna play this game? Especially with my son that is 38. The street thing. You're not privileged to anything I have unless I want to share it with you. You know. And he is so bad and so sad that if somebody else asks you, how's your mom, blah, 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 you got something really negative to say because you're not getting what you want out of the deal. So you're going to talk about that person. That's how my son, that's how I do. That's how a lot of people do when they're not happy with their lives or whatever. They can't be happy for you. They want you to be happy for them. I decide not to answer the phone. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to continue to live my life. It's quiet. Gen X, throwing you some gems, germs, or whatever you want to call it. I pray that you all don't fall into this chess games that some of your grown children play that actually need help. My mother told me I needed help. And guess what? I agreed later. I really agreed to get help because she was right. Rest in peace. Now, it's a lot of stuff she did I didn't like either. That's another video. But she taught me how to be the person I am today. And like I said, I may be on a rap page at times that you may see me posting different stuff, or whatever I'm doing. I'm not looking for friends. I don't kiss ass. I don't run after clout. I don't care who you know and where you been. I'm just me. Okay? I'm just me. People can read, all this tit for tat in these videos, They hear you. People hear each other. And I'm not gonna base my videos on tit for tats. I'm basing on keeping it real because I am mentally ill. I do live with bipolar 2 disorder, but I'm speaking healness, same for you. Because a lot of people, is something wrong with them. And people can pick up on it. I was talking to someone that I used to I would advocate for when past job I was at dealing with mental health, and they say, why do you think these people ask me all these questions at the bank? I was trying to open up account and blah 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 blah. I said, well, it's basically answer questions they need to answer. Well, I feel like it was being nosy. And I said, well, and also some of the questions that he said they ask, it's a reason because they can see when we are mentally challenged. He said, oh, so you said that you can look at me and tell I'm mentally challenged. I said, well, the people can pick up on things with us, and I said us because they can, you know. And he's very intelligent young man. But you could tell, like, if you say certain things and the way you just come off saying it and stuff, people gon' like I said, the name of this podcast is Watch My Smoke Movement podcast, and you know, um, we're no longer sweeping. Hey, Mona, how you doing? Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. Bless you. God bless you. I'm so grateful and so humble. So, people are just Like I was saying, it's amazing. Um, People would treat you as you allow them to treat you. You know, I'm not here to. I just share about what's going on with us. It's something wrong with us. People got different things that's going on with them and handling it different than others. But you don't have to beg for people to like you, whatever. So the young man was saying that, they was asking him a lot of questions at the bank and blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I said, you know, I don't know, but the bottom line is, as long as you was at the bank, do what you got to do, answer their questions, and move on. You know, because I understood what he was saying. He said, "Do I look like something wrong with me or something like that?" But when you have a conversation, when we know that something is going on, same thing with me. That's an older lady, you know, because a lot of times I repeat things twice. I deal with, I'm not going out like that. I know the symptoms of dementia and memory care. So that's one of them. Is they repeat things and all of this stuff. And I can tell the way my children, how they get a little short with me, you know. Uh, and like she may say, Mom, you already asked me that the other day or later or whatever. I said, well, I'm asking you again. I'm not, So yeah, people could tell different things of you, but thank God I can be able to recognize myself what's going on with me. That's what the way I'm grateful. And I pray to you all too. And a lot of times, we can be under some kind of stress or whatever's going on that we don't know what it's like, you know? It's like even with, it's somebody for everybody, okay? I'm grateful I have a mentor. I deal with, my mentors and friends are like more like late 60s and going to their 70s. And it's beautiful. And I have younger people I talk to. But when you become a certain age, I'll be 60 next month, things really, really change. I mean, hey, I may would date or marry somebody else maybe 10 years younger. I don't know. I don't know what God got in store for me, you know. But if I'm not feeling that person, be able to be truthful for yourself and say, listen, I don't want to do anything to mess up our friendship. I don't want to cross the line. And I told that to someone, and they was like, well, the line got to be drawn first. But, and I knew exactly what they meant. But I ain't interested. I'm just not interested. And we'll text, hey, how you doing, whatever. But then I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to have to kind of wrap it up. I've known this person for a while, but I seem to have people that gravitate to me that I don't like what I liked from the different areas that I lived in or schools I went to. That's the kind of people I have gravitating toward me, like, more of a relationship, friendship kind of thing. That's the same thing when I married my girl's father. Yeah, he already had 5 children. But I was sacrificing myself because my son said he was tired of being the only child. I said, well, before I have any more children, I have to be married first. It just so happened my girl's father, this man already had 5 children. So they were boys, 4 boys, 1 girl. That worked out great. But that shit backfired because that's another story. I didn't know he was doing drugs, blah, blah, blah. And, we had verbal abusive, married. But he's a good person, good father, And I've known him since high school. But it wasn't a childhood thing, okay? So, uh, it's amazing. And he was a blessing for my son I couldn't I couldn't raise my children. And so the system got involved in it, excuse me. But it started off because me and my son that is 38 now, when he was 14, me and him, when there's something about that 14, me and him got into it. In Gwinnett County, another county I hate, just like Atlanta where I grew up and was born at. These are the different cities I hate, Gwinnett County and Atlanta. They are traumatizing to me because I went through some mess with my son, and then it evolved my children, my family. And I was already going through a divorce from my girl's father, but it was a blessing he allowed my son to stay there with them. Even though it didn't end well, he still called him dad. And of course, he knows real dad, blah, blah, blah. Things like this. I'm telling you, this is really, really something. This is my documentary, my life. Oh, boy. Well, I didn't feel like being on here. This long. I wasn't planning to, because it's just so much. When I saw Gucci Mane and his wife interview with the Breakfast Club, that really did just hit home, and I had to come on here and talk about it. Please look it up on my you'll see it on my community, in my community. I appreciate you all. You all are so awesome. Everybody is somebody for somebody. And like I say, this person has been nice, it's always going to be the nice one that's going to support you in another type of way. But you can always, you don't have to receive stuff. If it's just a loan, pay it back to them. Or pay it forward. Do that. And let bygones be bygones. And, yeah, it is what it is. I just give God the praise. I just, and I thank you all that even in the replay, that the sound of my voice, that your life is transforming and speaking healing to you about anything that you're going through right now that is dealing also with your mental health challenges. A lot of us as a chosen one, as a, as a prayer warrior and intercessors, we go through a lot. We the one takes the hits. This is our personal, this is who we are. This is our purpose. Another thing I don't like about what a lot of content creators does, these young men does, this is clickbaits. You say stuff, make it sound like what it is for you to click on it. That's very mischievous. I don't like that at all. So that also turns away for me people being on your channel. I don't like that. You could tell when AI has put in the title for you and chat, whoever it is. I don't use that stuff. I say what I say, and it hits to whoever it hits to. If you don't get the title could be, don't mean nothing. Say something and it may not mean nothing to you, and that's fine. But somebody's gonna come by and see that title. I just keep it 100, 1,000 on the titles. That's another thing. I hate clickbait. I hate that. Young man I know right now is a content creator. He does that a lot. And then he does things when he goes into an episode as well. I know his ass got to be bipolar. And his partner that does something. See, they do stuff that is in different countries and stuff. He's such a gentleman. He's very nice guy. But I could tell he the one getting him on this clickbait stuff. I'm not going to go and leave the metrics of a 9 to 5 of of unless I really love it, of to come on this platform to into a metric of got to you post because you want to and you love it. Just like I know a lot of people post daily and stuff. You look at all the posting I've done, and I have low subscribers and stuff like that, but I enjoy what I do. So um I just don't want to be into the metric of that I'm working my brand and I got to do it, make it out like it's work. Just like I heard another content creator say, I do this every day or I do this blah, 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 but I enjoy what I'm doing. So it makes it fun like you never worked a day in your life. And I love that for anyone that does that because I'm in the same boat. I'm just, you post whenever you want to, you know, because some people just not on you to make money or to just do that. They just may start something so they can talk every now and then. That's okay. And cause I'm gonna tell you, when you dealing with your brand, you gonna push your brand. It's a lot of people that pushes. They do stuff, and you could tell they selling. They're really selling for their whatever that brand is. You can tell it, and salute to them, cause they not gonna sit there and tell everything what's wrong with wherever they at either. So I just learned, I seen some people that they were very cordial about things. Well, I stay this blah 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 this part of the time, blah 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 blah. But at times this happens and that, just keep it 1,000 with people. Because when I hear about people talking about the other countries and stuff, I want to know about, simple stuff like what kind of bugs around there. Somebody said they paid $100 somewhere, but they were laying around bugs. I'm like, I'm not gonna leave the USA where I could be somewhere where bugs at and come into somewhere. Bugs is everywhere, of course. I want to know about the toilet paper. I heard people say bring your own toilet paper. You need to bring. Well, I didn't know. I was looking at one video when you out there in the public, I don't know what part of town or whatever this country were, but you got to pay to go use the bathroom. Always keep change with you. Little stuff like this, they have American food. I'm not a seafood person, but they still got American food where you can eat. You got to be careful. You got to say no pet. NOPET if you're in some parts of Thailand and I understand their food is spicy. Let them know you do not want spice. It's no pet. No pet. NOPET. That's what I heard, from, whatever they got going on. I love the stories, but I want to hear more, just like I found out about the part of the breathing and stuff, and I can't be in no season in no country where you living for free, you riding for free on the subway or whatever the buses, but you can barely breathe. You got to put a mask on. That right there, that bothers me. That bothers me. I can't, cold weather. So I'm very hot. And and then with the way my situation is. I would need a wheelchair to do all that walking, and stuff. Everything is so accessible, and we get spoiled here in America. But I'd be damned, I'm gonna let anything run me from anywhere. I even have to tell bad spirits that. The only way I will leave is when God or when I say I'm ready to go. I had to say that to my aunt Spirit one time. We were living in her house. I said, you're not going to run me out this house. You just only after me. None of the men, but she was only after me. And God is my witness on my mother's ashes. Yeah, her spirit tried to run me out of there, and I spoke out when nobody went in the house. I said, "Look, you're not gonna run me out of here until I'm ready to go." You know, I mean, when you're sensitive to the spirit and knows how they do and everything, I'm telling you, it's amazing. That's what I teach people. How to live with that. You know, I thank God. I'm just so grateful. I thank God. It's just a moment of silence to recruit. It's so much I have to say, so much to talk about. But anyway, I gotta go. I'm so grateful that you all, even through the replay, it's in the hour of 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern Time in the USA. I am so grateful. Being that gratitude of just being grateful for right now, for this moment, even though you may not like where you want at, and they're not, and you ready to do whatever, you gotta, if you gotta do your doctor's appointment, take care of things before you do some stuff, or make sure your finances in order. Do it. Do your research. You owe that to yourself. And I still salute, like I say, the people who've gone on and they still there and maintain it. I salute them. God be with them. But there are some people that are ashamed, and they're going to have to come back and take care of some more business. You know, you just be careful. There's some people, in order to be citizens of countries or having a green card here, is an arrangements through, they have arrangements. That's all I can say. It's not meant for everybody to stay overseas. I mean, it's almost like somebody acting like it's a curse word to say that. Yes, have a better life wherever you at, wherever you at. You entitled to a better life, and you will have it. But everybody's better life is not where everybody else is at. Everybody's different. All right, y'all have a good night, and I appreciate y'all. Take care.